Hi there. In this video, we're going to show you how to set up a Google Analytics account. This is to set one up completely from scratch, assuming that you don't already have any sort of Google Analytics account. And we're going to be using the new Google Analytics 4 interface, which is what you would see if you set up from scratch a Google Analytics account now. So, Google Analytics runs from your Gmail address, from whatever email you use that Google recognizes for all your other Google services. So whatever you're using to log into your Gmail or to your Chrome or anything like that, you can use your personal Google account if you want to, or you could set up a new Gmail address that was specifically for your business for accessing Google Analytics. It's entirely up to you. So I've gone into just Google Analytics, and I'm going to click on this first option here. And as you can see, it's just asking me to log into my Google account. So I've set up an email address that I'm going to use for this. And it's going to first of all ask me if I want to protect my account. So you should do this. It's a good idea to set up a recovery phone number and a recovery email, because that means that you've got some alternative ways of getting back into your account if you have any problems with it. I'm not going to do that now, but it's something that you should do if you're doing this yourselves. And then here we are, because we don't already have any sort of Google Analytics presence for this address. It's taking us right to the very beginning and the setup phase. So here we go. We click on the setup for free button. So the way that Google Analytics works is you have an account, and within that account you have properties. So properties might be your website, an app, a YouTube channel, and you can have multiple properties, multiple different websites that you want to track. So this is relevant because you need to decide what you're going to call your account. So I might have an analytics account, Lorna Walker's account, with a lot of different websites in it that I track, or I could set up an account for my particular business, and that would be the one that I am going to track. So for this example, I have a practice website here that I'm going to use, Traveller's Tales. And so I'm going to call my account Traveller's Tales. But as I said, you could equally well call it your own business name or your own name, as you prefer. You accept all of the sharing options that Google offers you. And then the next question it's asking is, what's the property that you're going to measure? And so this is the website or an app or whatever it is that you're actually going to track. So for this, the property name is going to be the same. I want to track the website that's associated with this account. So I'm going to give it a property name of Traveller's Tales as well. It's asking me for the reporting time zone and the currency. So the reporting time zone is best to be set to where you are or where most of your customers are, so that if it's 9 o'clock in the morning for your customers, you're seeing that data as coming through at 9 o'clock in the morning in your analytics account. So for this, I'm in the UK, my customers are in the UK, so I'm just going to keep that as it is, and the currency is correct, but you can change those things if you want to. We move on to next. It's just asking for some details about the business. So in this example, my business is travel related, got really 1 to 10 employees. And then how I intend to use Google. For this, I'm just going to select that I want to measure customer engagement, but you could pick any one of these other options if you wanted to. And then I'm going to click Create. It's asking me to accept the terms and conditions, which I do. And then it's permissioning me for email. So by default, it's not going to email me about all of these things. But if I wanted to learn about new feature announcements, for example, I could tick that box and I save my preferences. And then this is the account now that it's been set up for us. So you can see at the top here, we're in this account, Traveller's Tales. And here we're in this property, Traveller's Tales. So how analytics works is it gives you some code. You put that code onto your website. It appears on all the pages of your website in the back end, so nothing that your customers can see, but that Google will see. That code links your website to your Google Analytics account, and that is what enables analytics to track the traffic to your site. So the next stage of the setup is to generate that code, and it's going to take us through the process. So the first thing, it's asking, what is it that you're tracking? Is it an iOS app? Is it an Android app? Or is it a website? So in this example, it's a website. Then it asks for the URL of the website. So I'm just going to dink that in there. This is just a practice site, so it's on HTTP, but generally speaking, you should be running on HTTPS. We have other videos about that if that's of interest. Then it says, what do you want to call this stream of data? So we're going to call it Traveller's Tales website. So that would help me to distinguish this data that's from my website from another source of data. If I was to develop an app for the same business at some point in the future, I might have a second stream, Traveller's Tales app, for example. And then all I need to do at this point is just click Create Stream. And then let me just close that for a second. And then this basically gives us the information that we need in order to generate the code, or generates the code and gives it to us. And so this is the code that we can put on our website. So we have a second video that shows you how to do this for WordPress. And sometimes you might just need this measurement ID here. Depends on the method that you use to put the tags on your site. You might just need that. Or alternatively, you might need this whole little piece of code here. And so because we're starting from scratch, we don't have an existing Google Analytics account, we are going to add a new on-page tag. So we'll just pick up this code, copy and paste it, and then you can send that to your developer or do it yourself. And as I said, we have a second video in which we will show you how to add that tag onto your site.